And we are live. We are live. We are live. We are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Forest Night out in St. Louis. Have an absolutely awesome, awesome opportunity. I love doing these legacy creator interviews. I'm getting them pushed out. So today, I've got somebody I've known for quite a while. I've watched her come up in the entrepreneur world, running her business and kicking butt and taking names. Just really, really cool. She's an author, speaker, got her own brand going on, which is absolutely awesome, 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 awesome. So, um, without any further ado, Miss Tracy Walker, tell us, share your story with us. Tell us who you are, sort of where you started at, maybe a little bit of background, and throw in. You can be as open as you want to, and then we'll get into some business questions here. Throw out some nuggets, and just take all the excuses away from people that may be thinking about starting a business. So the floor is yours.
Okay, well, Forrest, thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to be here. And guys, my name is Tracy Walker, and I am a home-based business entrepreneur. Forrest, this year, I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I am a single mom. So I'm a mompreneur now. My son is 6. And I got started in home-based business back in 2007, primarily because I co-owned with my ex-husband. I co-owned a real estate investment company, and from 2003 through 2007, we made a lot of money in that business. And then the market did some really crazy things. I mean, I thought it was bad then. Things look really kind of crazy now too. But at that point in time, just everything started to go haywire. I mean, we were running a solid 7-figure business, and when that happened, the money got tied up in the pipelines due to some things changing in the laws, and my house went into foreclosure. One of my 3 cars went into repossession, or two of the three went into repossession, and I had to file bankruptcy. We filed bankruptcy like 2 times, and then I was off food stamps, right? And we just built this 3,700 square foot home, right? It was beautiful. Everything was great until that. And I was tired of real estate at that time. It had burned me out. I was over it. And I turned to home-based business as a way to supplement my income during that period of time. Now, prior to me starting the real estate business, I'm originally from Chicago, and born and raised there. Went to college at Florida A&M University, which is a HBCU, and graduated with a master's degree in business administration with a concentration in marketing. And so my goal at that point was really to become a chief marketing officer for a Fortune 500 company. That was kind of the lane I was in. I did have it. Well, it took me about a year, but I did finally get a job after graduation, which was a little bit of a shock, right? Because of all the things that you go through to prepare, and then you don't even have a job right away. But I did get a job finally. Worked here in Atlanta because I do live in Atlanta now, and I was then as well. And after September the 11th happened, I was there for about a year. After September the 11th happened, my company, which was in the energy sector, I did some trading for that company. They did a series of layoffs. And so like second or third round, I was laid off. February was 2002. And so it was later that year that I started the real estate investment company, moved back home to Chicago. My mom took ill. And that's kind of how the whole real estate thing picked up from there. So we fast forward 2007, I started home-based business to really just supplement the income and trying to transition out of real estate, and really enjoyed just showing other people how they can start businesses for a lot less of an investment than we did in our real estate business, be able to help people, and really be able to have more of a, I can't say mobile lifestyle at that time, but I will say not having to be at a cubicle or not having to be chained to a desk, right? You could work from home and you could do things all different types of ways. And so that's how I got started in home-based business. We fast forward. I was with a couple of companies. I learned some skills on how to market online, became really proficient at that, made well over $1 million or so in one company, made, multiple six figures in some of my own products and services. And I'm still in the industry now. I thought I was done for a little while, but something pulled me back. And so I'm here and enjoying it. So that's that.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I thought I heard something here, and I'm going to dig just a little bit. I thought I heard you. Did you say something about being on food stamps? Did I hear that?
You did hear that.
So tell me about that. How did you get in that situation? Go back a little bit and sort of tell me a little bit about that background. What was going on in that time of your life?
Well, the real estate business was tanking, and so obviously our income was tied to us being able to close deals, and we weren't able to close deals because they were tied up in the pipelines. They were tied in the pipelines because they had started making these different types of regulations in the mortgage industry. Which, when the deals were at the inception of the deal, there was one set of rules, but through the process, by the time we got to the end of that particular deal, there was a whole other set of rules. So title companies weren't closing the same type of way. Closing attorneys weren't closing the same type of way. There were new, requirements and this and documentation and so on. So to go through all of the red tape and the bureaucracy, we weren't making any money. So we started to have to really use credit cards, right? Use credit cards to pay bills. And then once we've maxed out 2 or 3 or 4 credit cards, right? We're still waiting on a deal doesn't come through. Well, how are we going to eat? Right. So now we got to go down to the Department of Illinois, right? And because I was back in Chicago, and file for food stamps, right? Which was, I can't say it is a horrible thing, but it's kind of an unexpected thing when you have a master's degree, you went to college, right? You were magna cum laude graduate, right? You're not hurting anybody, you're not breaking any laws, you're not committing any crimes, you're just doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is working, having a business, taking care of your family, and yet and still I'm on food stamps as if I hadn't done anything correct, right, in my whole entire life. And so it was just one of those points in time where I had to second guess, what is this whole system thing really, right? And where do I fit in it? And do I want to fit in it the way I thought I wanted to fit in it, if at all? Right. And so that was the environment, just really trying to put food on the table. It was embarrassing, because it's like, who lives in a 3,700 square foot house with a Hummer at that time, a Mercedes Benz, and a Lexus, in a cul-de-sac in a nice suburb in Illinois, and behind the scenes, we're getting these food stamps in the mail, or they're loading the money on the card. Like, it was kind of ridiculous, So that was kind of the low point at that time for me, and that was what really pushed me into home-based business full time.
So getting in and moving from that situation, so you can see the sort of the spiral up, and then the unexpected stuff, just like what's happened here this year. Like 2020 has been the year of unexpected ish. So everything from having businesses one day to not having a business the next day, and it's been all over. And the home-based business market, the work from home market, has just taken off because people realize that plan A or option A isn't around anymore, or has been reduced, or has been cut back, or whatever it is. So moving into the home-based business arena, being a single parent, single mom, how did you adjust your schedule? Well, let's not go there yet. What was it that attracted you primarily to sort of the home-based business concept, the MLM concept, the affiliate concept? What attracted you to that model?
Well, when I saw the presentation of the company that I joined at that time in 2007, I didn't really think, I wasn't focused on, oh, it's MLM, oh, it's at that time, my thing was, what could I do that was legitimate, where I could actually make similar money if I put in work, right? That was I'm trying to, when you're making, $90,000 a month, $100,000 a month in the real estate business, and then you go down to none, right, for about 6 months. The question is not, oh, what am I attracted to this thing for? It's like, look, what can I do, right? So when I saw that presentation, I saw a group of ladies standing in front of the room doing this. What I saw was a presentation, right? I saw them communicating this information. I saw them talking about a problem in the market. I saw them talking about how their product and service solved that problem in the market. And if people bought that thing, then we would make money, right? And so I was like, okay, well, that's the same thing I'm doing. It's just I don't have attorneys, closing agents, sellers, buyers, contractors, all these people that could stop the flow if any party disagreed or didn't do their part, right? It's almost like direct to consumer in that sense. And so I was like, oh, I could present. I was presenting anyway to sellers, right? Who we were working with them with their homes. So I could do that. I could learn the information. I could teach it the same information to other people because it's the same presentation. And could I get in front of a group of people and convey the message, right, of freedom, of this and that? And I was like, oh man. So that I was like, that's what attracted me to it, was that it was simple enough. It was very simple to what I was already doing. It required less work than I was doing, and it required less money to even get it going, right? And I could break even fast. I have more of a business mind, right? So I think in terms of, well, how much time, investment of money, return. I think on those lines. And so for me, that made sense. And I was like, let's go.
So what I just heard, and I love just all the nuggets. If anybody was taking notes, there was a lot of nuggets in there. One is she saw a system that was easy to present to other people, that was duplicatable, that she felt that she could do and earn an income from it. And she realized, and if you heard this, she said that I could actually work at. So she said something that she had to work, she had to put in the effort, she had to do the presentation, she had to show the information, she had to share it to other people. And she realized that it cut out all the middlemen, and it was directly, hey, if I share this with somebody, she saw women standing in the front of the room. She's like, I can do what they're doing. And she realized that from a business standpoint, the business model made sense of being able to convey that information to someone else. So that's one of the things that I talk about a lot is, how do we take somebody from present them with not an easy system. It's not easy, but it's simple. Something that's simple. Say, here's the information. I'm going to share this information with you. Take a look at it. If it's something that you think that you're interested in, then we can show you how to make money in it using, of course, training and mentorship and all that kind of stuff. So moving through that, what did you, in joining that company, how did you progress? How did you go about, inviting people to presentations? What was your step? How did you reach out to people? Did you just do warm market? Did you do cold market? Did you do a combination of both? How did you get people in front of the information?
Well, at that time, I was new to the industry. And so my upline was, warm market. Warm market was the key initially. And so I would reach out to, realtors I knew, or investors I knew, mortgage brokers or loan officers that I knew. That was my warm market, so to speak, at that time. And all of us were kind of feeling a type of way at that juncture, because we were all feeling the pain from, what was happening. So it was a viable market for me at that time. And these were people that also understood business. So that's what we did. We had buttons back. This is like 2007, right? So we had buttons, T-shirts. It was still a very big initiative to get people to events and to like home office at that time, right? They would do tours at the home office for that company. And so we would get people on the bus, even just guests. We would take them like once a month on a Tuesday. We drive down to home office, because it was actually in Illinois and we were in Chicago, and get people there to buy into the vision and see the company and see the longevity that, we were talking about. But it was definitely warm market. There was some cold market. Like my upline did do some advertising. My sponsor and upline literally was a multimillionaire in Chicago. He still is, all right, a restaurateur, a very good friend of mine. I went to college with his son. And so he had a lot of leverage and influence. And so he would do, ads in the city or paper. He would promote things in his restaurants, and that kind of helped us from that standpoint. But that was the premise. I drove around to people's homes and did in-home meetings and things like that. And then I got to a point where I was tired of that, because in Chicago it's really, really cold in the winter. And to go outside and have to start your car for 30 minutes to then drive across town to then have on boots and whatever else, right? You got to dry off when you get to the person's house, to have a change of clothes, change of shoes. And then it's one person, it's like, well, wait a minute, this is not conducive.
So, so, what, so what I, so what I heard was you actually got in your car and you drove through the snow barefoot, dragging your tools with you, went to somebody's house to do a single presentation to somebody, and they always said yes, right?
No, I mean, that was the thing.
What?
It's like, if you have one person in the room, you got to close 100% of the room, right? Now, I'm not saying that's impossible, but I'm pretty good. Okay, I'm pretty good. I'm not gonna not give myself some credit there. I'm pretty good with closing. But when you got one shot, right, one person, and it's not your person, it's just the cousin of somebody who's supporting the person, not looking to start, it's not a qualified one person. Well, then now it just drives your ratios down to zero, essentially, right? So after a couple of times of that, then I was hanging up the boots in tow to find an alternative strategy to reach more people who were qualified and wanted to start a business.
Okay. So you just hit it there. So you got tired of trudging through the snow, dragging your wagon, doing the presentation to somebody that wasn't really interested in the business. So I'm assuming you moved more online. Is that where you're going? What's your next step?
Yeah, I did. I went to the internet really to just kind of figure out what were people doing online and how could I take what I already knew how to do, which was present. How could I put a presentation online via video or something, and then that thing can play over and over, where I don't have to be the thing that keeps playing over and over. Now, I didn't mind playing over and over, but there were times where if I couldn't or didn't want to or whatever, did I have a replacement, and with digital, media, it provided a replacement, and I started to leverage videos versus me in person a lot more.
Okay, so if you didn't hear this, if you didn't catch this, Tracy in one step was being the tool. She moved to a system to where she could invite somebody else to look at a tool, so she didn't have to be the tool anymore and leverage her time, where she could literally have 100 people or 200 people or 10 people or whatever the number was looking at that tool simultaneously. I'm just throwing numbers out there, simultaneously, to look at that tool and then letting them qualify where she wanted to interject and jump in. Am I jumping ahead a little bit?
No, that's exactly right.
So when you would share these tools with people, you find out if they're open to look in it, right?
So I find out if they're what?
If they were open to looking at the information. That would be sort of your first step. And I lost her. I think I lost you there for a second, Tracy. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
There you go.
If we lose each other, I might just need to jump on the computer, but for now, I guess we're fine.
Okay, so you sent out an invite to somebody to look at the information, correct?
Yes.
And then when they said they wanted to look at it, you sent them some type of digital overview presentation, correct?
Correct.
So when you did that, what was your next step after they watched the information? What was your next step?
Then I would just usually follow up with them and ask them, what they like best about what they. First of all, did they even see it, right? Because people will say, "Oh yeah, I'll watch it," but they may not have really watched it. So I just ask people, "Did you get a chance to take a look at the information that I sent over? Did you get a chance to watch the video?" If they say no, then I have to kind of go back and, well, when do you think you have a chance to watch it? And then kind of reset it. But if they've watched it, the next question is, great. What did you like best about what you saw? And I would try to gather. It's like information gathering at that point, and I would literally just try to find out if this person is in alignment with what we're doing or not, right, as quickly as possible. So just a few closing questions, I guess you would. One being, what did you like best about what you saw? On a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being you have zero interest at all, and 10 being you're ready to get started today. What number would you say that you are? Another question is, how soon are you looking to get started, right? And if I get positive and affirmative answers to those questions, then my next question is, great. So let's go ahead and get you plugged in, right? And then get the person enrolled.
So you send them an invite. They say they want to look at it. You send them the information. They either look at it or not. If they didn't look at it, you follow up and say when you're going to look at it. Once they look at it, you ask them what did they like most about what they saw. And then you go into the closing thought on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being no interest, 10 being really interested. Where do you see yourself at? And they give you a number. And then you ask them if they're ready to get started today. So once they get started, did you just send them an enrollment link, or did you get online with them and walk them through the process?
Now that would depend. It would depend on who it was I was speaking with and my confidence level in it. Right now, there are some occasions where I would say, okay, here's what you want to do. You want to go to this link, follow these steps, enroll, create the account, what have you. But there were other circumstances where I would say, okay, great. Are you in front of your computer? Right? Go to this website. Okay, take this step. And I'm actually walking them through the enrollment process. And so it really would just depend, but I would employ both of those options.
So doing this on a regular basis, I assume you were doing it daily, and you had your child at the time, you had your baby at the time?
No, not back then. I mean, my son wasn't born until 2014. So
okay.
This was, 2000, just like 7 years prior to that, right? So
okay.
Way before that, as the skill was learning and, things of that sort. And then 2008, actually we got online in 2008. 2009, a little bit more proficient. 2010, I think I had like my first $10,000 a month or something like that. And then 2011, joined another company, made $190,000 in like 3 months, right? Made $1 million in about 25 months, something like that. And, just really showing people that process, that just continuous replication, doing the same thing over and over can be kind of boring, but that's what success. You find something that works, just do the same thing over and over and over, right? Just find ways to kind of make it more efficient.
So just to be clear, you got started and you didn't instantly make like $10,000 right now. You actually showed up and it took a little bit of time, and then you made a little bit of money. Then it took a couple more years, you made a little bit more money. Then it took a couple more years, you made some more money, and then you hit the big 7-figure income. But you kept, I heard this. You said you kept showing up and doing the presentation. It got a little bit mundane, but yep. You kept doing it over and over and over and over. I mean, is that what I heard? Is that what?
That's what you heard for us. Yeah. I mean,
well, I just wanted to make sure, because there's somewhere in this industry, people get this idea that I can sign up today and tomorrow I'm going to be like stupid rich, and it's the head down. And the reason I interview people like you on this, on the legacy creators, is to understand that there's always a hustle, there's always a struggle, there's always people being unreasonable to get where they want to. The unreasonable part of her story of literally walking through just crappy weather to go do a presentation to one person, that's freaking stupid unreasonable. Today we have the internet, and our unreasonable is how many people can I reach out to as fast as I possibly can, right? That's our unreasonable. Do we cancel our XYZ PDQ streaming service so that I can spend that 1 hour doing what I need to do to build a business, to get into that mundane cycle of constantly putting that in somebody's inbox, constantly knocking on their door, constantly working on that deal. So fast forward into mommy time. How did being a mom and building a business, how did that mess up your day? Or how did you have to adjust your schedule to do that?
It messed everything up for us. I didn't know what the hell to do. I mean, it was very, very, that was, so 2014, I had my son in June. I took about 6 months off, right? And didn't really worry about it. And so I picked everything back up in 2015. And it was very, very different and very, very difficult for me. The transition was a lot. I mean, if I'm honest, I'm probably just now, right, really getting into the swing, and my son is 6, right? Because just the demands of a mom, and I wasn't a single mom. My son's dad and I were together at that time, and so I did have some help, but I nursed my son, right? I wanted to be there for every little thing. I was very into his mental development and his learning. So I was very particular with what information he would watch on TV. And I was, researching and buying certain material, certain DVDs and things of that sort. So I was very, very hands-on with him. It wasn't where I just wanted to hand them off to a nanny and then I just got right back on the plane and got going. It wasn't that for me. I really wanted to be a mom, and so it was difficult with time management, um, or really just managing myself within the time. It was very difficult with coordination with my son's father. It was very difficult trying to still have a relationship. It was very difficult trying to be on webinars and I mean, people are getting on Zoom and stuff now, but we were doing webinars and things like this for years, way before, right? So 9, 10 o'clock at night was my prime time, right? That's when I go to work, and I have a little person that now I have to get down, and I can't get on the webinar. I can't do this, or I can't prospect, right? It's 12 o'clock. He's still not asleep, right? It was very, very difficult. I took some we did some masterminds, and I actually would speak with a couple of the therapists there, right? Because I'm like, there's something that's a block. I don't know I don't know if I can be successful and be a mom. That was a real thing for me. And
Hold on. So so your mom, you're struggling, you're trying to set up an unreasonable schedule, you're doing webinars at midnight when you can, and you actually went and got some mentorship or some guidance on how to overcome that. So can you dig into that just a little bit? How did you go about that? Who did you reach out to, and how did you get that adjustment? How did you make that work?
well, at that time, the owner of the company that I was a part of, that was a top earner, and his brother um, was a highly respected um, therapist, NLP expert, that type of guy, right? And uh, we would frequent communication with him just about business and how we're doing and just making sure mental states are together and making this type of money, how things go and things like that. So I had somebody to reach out to already, so I didn't have to do any research on that, thank God. But yeah, I would schedule like calls, and we would do like a call once a week, just because I felt like I didn't know how to be who I thought I needed to be before to
Mhm.
continue to get the results that I need to get moving forward in this new environment, this new role. So these weekly calls, we did different, like I broke a board with my hand, right? I mean, literally the whole Tony Robbins, we walked on fire, just literally breaking through some of these challenges. And these are exercises I remember. I mean, I really began to, certain strategies like, write and burn, right? Letting go of certain things, any type of resentment or frustration. I really started to get deeper into, what stops people from doing stuff, or what holds them back from being their greatest or fullest potential. And through my own journey of that, I became a lot more focused on my mindset, even, right? And making sure, I spend more time focused on positive stuff, right? Because I don't have that much time. I got 3 hours today, right? Literally. So I've got to get all this stuff done, be sharp, take care of it, and get back to being a mom. So yeah, the coaching, the mentorship, the therapy sessions, I would say, the breaking of the board, the walking on the fire, going to different personal development seminars and things like that. Yeah, like that was me full time, all day.
So you actually, and here's what I heard. One is you realized that you were struggling. There was a struggle going on, and you made a decision to become unreasonable and reach out to somebody for some help. You did some adjustments in your daily method of operation to make it work. But more importantly, what I heard was you actually, and I heard you were in business before, but I heard that you actually took ownership of the business and you made a decision to go to the breakthroughs. You meant to make the decisions to go to the Anthony Robbins event. It was you wanting your business to grow, and you realized the only way that could grow was for you to get this adjusted. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, I was around a group of people that, were high level thinkers and that were, um, entrepreneurs, and, entrepreneurs have a different energy. It's not something that I think everybody can be an entrepreneur. I just don't think everybody would like to work on the aspects of themselves that would allow them to become a successful one, right? And so when things get tough and hard, it's easier to just say, oh, I'm gonna get a job, right? Or whatever. And that's not me. Like, I hadn't worked since 2002, right? I can't. So now we're down the road. It's 2015. What am I gonna? I haven't worked a job in 13 years, right? Like, what? No, that's not even a thought, right? The thought is, what do I need to do to get this going? And it's not go backwards. So yeah, making those decisions can seem a little tough. I mean, even just not so much going to the events, because I've kind of been an event goer anyway, just even with real estate, right? You got to go, you got to learn, you got to be in environments with like-minded individuals. But just to talk to more of the therapist type of thing about it, sometimes, you feel like if you're talking to a therapist, it's like something is wrong with you. And not all the time. Sometimes you just need to be able to sort things out. And you need a different perspective that's not like your girlfriend who's got judgment, right? Or your guy friend that's, you got to be so manly about something that you can't even, attach to another part. Whatever those influences are, sometimes you need a person trained in a field that can help you get to the root of whatever is happening in the psychosis of it all. And
Right. And yeah, you said you were talking about surrounding yourself with the right type of influential people. There's going to be the people that as a new person, there's going to be a lot of people in your life that are afraid that if you are successful, and this is real, that are afraid if you're successful, that you're just going to leave them behind, that you're going to go do this whole new thing. And sometimes we need to love people from a distance, which is absolutely okay. And hopefully that we grow enough that they say, dude or dudette, I really like what you got going on. How can I come and hang with you? And you can actually pull them up because of the change that you make in your life, which is a big deal. But what I really appreciate what you said was your hustle. You constantly making the decision that you're going to constantly move forward, and you were going to get around the struggle, and you were going to constantly look for solutions to make it work, and you were going to surround yourself with the right type of people to make it work, and you're going to constantly show up to make it work. Basically, what I just heard was a whole bunch of reasons and just basically eliminated a bunch of excuses for people that are using an excuse for something, which is one of the reasons I do these interviews, is because people need to hear the different perspective. I've never been a single mom. I've been a single dad, but still a different perspective. I've never been a single mom in that perspective. I've never had a multi-million-dollar real estate investment empire crash and burn. That would freak a whole lot of people out. But you were like, yeah, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do what I need to do to take care of my family. I'm going to do what I need to do to take care of myself. And then you move into, going into a relationship and then being a single parent, and then realizing like, wait a minute, I've got this baby I love, I need to take care of, and I'm not going to let him down. I gotta be a bossed up mom and still build my business and still build my empire and still spend time with my son and still be able to have the type of relationship that I need to work with him. So I just heard a lot of excuses coming off. So for the brand new person, here's a question for the brand new person that's just getting started. They've never been in network marketing before. They're sitting there, maybe they just saw a presentation online and they got started. They hit the go button. They put their information in there. What would you say is one of you could do one or two, maybe three of things that are very, very important that they need to do? And I'm talking about, this is for you that I'm targeting, for you that want to have big incomes, not just wishful incomes, but you're willing to hustle, you're willing to work. If you want to make $300 or $400 or $500 a month, this answer may not be for you. But if you really want to move to that 6-figure, 7-figure income, what are 3 things that the new person would need to do out of the block?
I would say from an action perspective, if we just dealt with action and not really talked about mindset, I would say number one, you need to launch your business, right? You cannot, in my opinion, my experience, you cannot build a business in the network marketing industry without letting people know that you're in the business. It's just, I mean, it's unheard. If you were going to open up a shoe store, you would want everybody in that whole block, your family, whoever, to at least know. Now, at the same time, you know that those people are not going to be the people to sustain your business long term, but it's just the jumping off place, basically, right? It's just the catapult of it. So you got to launch a business, grand opening, whatever terminology makes you feel more comfortable with it, you got to do that. Then that way people at least know you're in this business, or you sell these products, or whatever it is, this service, and you're doing this thing. And now people can at least know that they can refer people to you, right? So that would be the first thing, launch a business. The second thing I would say that you need to do is you've got to be willing to spend some money, because I come from an internet marketing background, right? From this whole standpoint of getting online in 2008 and why I shifted, right? From more traditional home parties, things like that, which I'm not against those. But as a digital marketer, right? And even though I look at brick and mortar businesses, show me a business that doesn't spend any money on advertising, right? I mean, every business has an ad somewhere, or every business has a flyer somewhere, or every business has a radio spot or some sort of something where the market can see that this business is open. Here are the things that we provide. Here's a special, here's a deal, here's a phone number, whatever. And I think sometimes in our industry, people forget that they're really running a business. And then when you mention you got to spend money to advertise, it's almost like you have 6 eyes on your face, right? And so the idea is that a business is a business is a business. A home business is still a business where our goal is to make a profit, and you have to find customers no matter what business that you're in. It doesn't matter to me if it's a network marketing business. It's great because you have very little overhead. In terms of getting into the business, it's fantastic. But once you're in it, you still have to proceed as a real business owner, and a real business spends money on advertising and marketing. Okay. So I would say second thing is be comfortable with spending money. And then the third thing that I would say is you have to, we're talking about you want to make the big bucks. You have to be willing to step into that leadership role. Okay. Because so that means presenting. Okay. You got to start presenting. All right. You got to start training. You got to start doing things that everybody else might not want to do. You might have to be the person to lead the call. You might be the person that has to show up when somebody else doesn't show up, right? It's like if somebody ran a Subway and you're the manager and somebody called off and there's nobody else. What do? You suit up and you get in that Subway, and now you're making sandwiches, even if you're the owner, even if you're the manager, right? And you don't think twice about it. Why? Because it's $2 million on the line for your franchise. But here, it's easy to say, oh, well, my upline isn't doing it, so I'm not doing it, right? And I think that upline support is fantastic, but whether there's upline or not, you are the boss. That's the whole point. You are the CEO. And so what would a CEO do? CEO steps into that leadership role. They take on that responsibility. They assume the accountability of what needs to happen in their business, and they make it happen. So those would be the 3 things I would say. I mean, kind of like, an action step, like launching, but then be okay with spending money. But then as you spend money, you have customers, you got to lead, you got to make decisions. You've got to be up, you've got to do a lot of stuff. And it's not like go to work, get off at 5 and you're done. That, I wish, but that's not the life. We still do stuff after 5.
Absolutely. So what I heard is you basically, if you want to, and again, this is talking to the people that are starting this business that want to have the 6 and 7 figure income. If you're here to earn $300 or $400, that's a different conversation. But in terms of launching your business, letting people know you're in business, if you have the discretionary income to spend money on advertising, you've got to figure out how you want to do that, and of course, learn how to do it the right way, and of course. Number 3, willing to step up into that leadership position when it presents itself. And there's a lot of training that can come in. Some people are just natural born leaders, but willing to step up and hustle and be unreasonable. And that might mean cutting off all your cable television and canceling some of the stuff that used to do that was fun, we can actually go out there and hustle and figure out what your time is based on your schedule. People always ask me what my DMO is. You can't handle my DMO because I have a completely different lifestyle than most people do. I work a stupid, crazy long job, and then it's just, me and my wife and my dog, all our kids are grown, so we don't have small kids in the house. So a mom with 4 kids DMO is going to be completely different than mine. So the same thing is when you're launching your business, you need to figure out how to launch the business for you based around your lifestyle, the things that are going to work for you. So for those of you that would like to get in touch with Miss Tracy, I actually put her URL here. I posted in the link. Go check out her website. She's absolutely awesome business person. I'm sure she wouldn't be mad at you if you decided to align with her and go into business with her. She wouldn't be mad at you at all. She's an absolutely awesome coach and awesome leader and a real inspiration to our community as a whole. And I just really appreciate you being a powerful Black mom, Black entrepreneur out here, absolutely crushing it, taking away all the excuses for us to be successful. And I truly appreciate that. Any closing words before we get out of here?
Well, I just want to say to anybody who's listening to this, and you're serious about, really making things happen in this industry, home-based business, network marketing, direct sales, whatever, like, it's so possible. I've done it. I'm doing some things now. I'm doing it again, right? But this time I've got a 6-year-old, right? But I'm telling you, it's just, you got to make a decision, right? Do you really want it? And if you do, what will happen is the people, the circumstances, the events, they will start to converge around you such that you can actually carry out the tasks that are required for you to get to the desires of your heart. And so just an encouragement to keep going. Don't stop. If you need assistance, seek help with your upline or other leaders or whatever it is. And keep your eye focused on where you want to go. And don't ever let a vision person try to take your vision from you. Okay. And you hold tight to that. So don't quit. Keep going.
Appreciate you. And as I close every live, I love you. Jesus loves you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. We're on a mission to have no more empty refrigerators. Go out and make an extreme impact and be a legacy creator. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thanks, Tracy.
Oh, thank you, Forrest. Bye.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.